the biggest fear of mine early on, and I think most people listening to this podcast too, they're like, okay, great. Here's a nutritionist telling me to eat well, sleep well, work out well, but I got a 24/7 restoration company, and I still got to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, so I can't sleep well, and I got to eat at a gas station, so I can't eat well, and I don't have time to go to the gym, so I can't move well. So what do I do? And I feel stuck. I feel frustrated. So what do you think?
Well,
Where do we start from there? Let's start unpeeling this onion of, if I were your client, I came to you with these things.
Yeah, and that's valid. That's most people that come to me they're in a position where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, but they're not really quite sure what to do about it. Okay. And what we need to focus in on with any one of those people is, what controllables do you have in your world? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, telling yourself that you don't have control over your food is your truth, but is it actually true? And so that's where we have to really work on rewriting the story that person's telling themselves first and foremost. Because if we don't look at that first, then that story is going to continue to perpetuate in everything that person does and how they live their life, right? So when they see what's possible, which is oftentimes all that's necessary, that's when we can start to precipitate change and we can start to rewrite the story. So my job isn't to tell you how to live your life as you experience. It's rather to paint the picture of what's possible and then get you to fill in the blanks with the colors that you want to see there. And that's where we as coach and client create this harmonious relationship where it creates autonomy for the client, for you to be the decision maker, and for me to be the guide, and for there never to be this air of resentment, but rather extreme ownership with ultimate support and knowing that there's no judgment attached to it. And that's my role as coach, is to be able to bring out the best in my client no matter what the circumstances are. And sometimes the circumstances are pretty cruddy. I get it, being an entrepreneur, running a gym, being a mom of 2, being a wife, having 160 plus members that we're serving any given week. It's a lot, right? And so I get it that it can all feel very heavy at times, but it's extrapolating out, what do you actually have control of? And that starts by rewriting your story.
So let's rewrite that story. You mentioned my 4 pillars. You mentioned your 6 pillars. And let's rewrite that story for a very busy entrepreneur and restorer. And I have a truth that I'll reveal at the end of the story, but let's paint it.
Yeah, so if we start with just physical health, right? So if we have the story that I can't get to the gym and work out and I have to eat out of gas stations, we start by rewriting that story with, well, what is possible? You know, can we create a space in your home where you can do a 10 to 15 minute routine that helps undo your day in regards to being bent over a steering wheel, driving on your phone, on the computer, basically in a forward hunched over position for most of the day? Can we do something for 10 or 15 minutes to undo that? Can we get some steps in? And if we can start with those simple controllable factors, as well as you don't have to eat out of a gas station, you're choosing to eat out of a gas station. The reality is that we could keep a go bag in your refrigerator or in your truck. There's coolers that can plug into your lighter outlet. There's a lot of different possibilities for people that live in a state of constantly needing to be on call. And there's a lot of different things that we can put in that vehicle that would create convenience without being spoilable. Yep. So simple things like good quality beef jerky, nuts, things that we can keep at all different temperatures that will make it so that you can't fail. Yep. So again, rewriting that in a very simple way. And a lot of gas stations also have cooler sections where you can get hard-boiled eggs, you can get cheese sticks, you can get fruits and veggies. They might not be top quality Whole Foods type of veggies, but they do exist.
Plus they have protein shakes.
Yes.
That's my go-to in a gas station.
So choosing wisely, regardless of the circumstance, it's always possible.